President Joe Biden, come on, man. Declare ending racism in our country a national goal of your administration. Last week's events were tragic. It'll take a while to assess the incredible damage that event has caused on our country. If nothing else, elements in our country that acted out in that way at the Capitol on January 6th have now understood that they can do this, that they can get away with this in part. And you remarked after the event the following: you can't tell me that if it had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesters yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very differently than the mob of thugs that stormed the Capitol. We all know that is true, and it is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. The American people saw it in plain view. If Black Lives Matter's protesters had done or tried to do what happened at the Capitol on January 6th, they would have been slaughtered. So I'm calling on you to establish a national goal to end racism, and I hope anybody that sees this video begins to talk about it, spread its possibility, and help raise this issue on a national level. In my view, there are two things that basically led to what happened last week. And there may be others, but I think these are the two biggies. One, racism, embedded in our culture since 1619. We have never really gotten rid of it. It's been there, it's been growing. Its virulence has been festering for years. It's been ignited in a slow fashion, like a cord on a bomb that's lighted, the fuse, and it takes a little bit to get there, and that's over the last 4 years with this ridiculous person that we allowed to occupy the White House. But it's been there for a number of decades, and I'll explain that in a minute. I don't think that this country has a chance in hell of surviving unless we tackle two things. One, racism, and I would think that the Congressional Black Caucus, perhaps joined by the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, maybe the Congressional Progressive Caucus, do the right thing and shortly after inauguration walk down to your office and say, we need a plan to tackle this ridiculous problem that's been ours since our inception, racism. The only way that it can take place and have a chance of succeeding is with a plan. And I crafted a plan 5 years ago. It's a plan. I'm a citizen. Somebody else may have a better plan. But I'm offering a plan that is relentlessly pursued with goals and a vision and a way to evaluate it, like any other governmental purpose. The second one, which has also been festering, is that Americans realized, and their realization of this culminated in the election of the most worthless person we could have ever chosen, and that is that Americans have been, and here's a list and you can add to it, hosed, looted, conned, jerked around, flim-flammed, defrauded, gutted, at least since the late 70s. Since 1979, if you look at the Reagan tax cuts, the Bush tax cuts, and the Trump tax cut of 2017, after each of those, the percentage of wealth and income by almost 90% of Americans dropped in the following year. All of the wealth and income gains went to the top quartiles of our country, the wealthy, and especially the 1% and the 0.1%, achieving the greatest transfer of wealth, as has been talked about relentlessly, from 80 to 90% of our citizenry to the very top. That has been festering, and that was the timber, the wood, the flammable material that allowed this, the constant in our country, to ignite, and this together caused the eruption last week in the Capitol. Unless we deal with both, yes, but we have to deal with this one finally, or else we don't have a chance. And that's my opinion. Thanks.